Welcome to Aleta Software Labs. Here we are going to build our own text-to-speech applications with Amazon Polly. In general, speech synthesis isn't easy. You can't just assume that when an application reads each letter of a sentence, the output will make sense. A few common challenges for text-to-speech applications include words that are written the same way but that are pronounced differently. I live in Las Vegas versus this presentation broadcasts live from Las Vegas. Text normalization, disambiguating abbreviations, acronyms, and units. Saint, which can be expanded as street or saint. Converting text to phonemes in languages with complex mappings such as in English, tough, throw, though. In this example, similar parts of different words can be pronounced differently depending on the word and context. Foreign words proper names. Amazon Polly provides speech synthesis functionality that overcomes those challenges, allowing you to focus on building applications that use text-to-speech instead of addressing interpretation challenges. Amazon Polly turns text into lifelike speech. It lets you create applications that talk naturally, enabling you to build entirely new categories of speech-enabled products. Amazon Polly is an Amazon AI service that uses advanced deep learning technologies to synthesize speech that sounds like a human voice. Currently includes 47 lifelike voices in 24 languages, so you can select the detailed voice and build speech-enabled applications that work in many different countries. In addition, Amazon Polly delivers the consistently fast response times required to support real-time interactive dialogue. You can cache and save Polly's audio files for offline replay or redistribution. In other words, what you convert and save is yours. There are no additional text-to-speech charges for using the speech, and Polly is easy to use. You simply send the text you want to convert into speech to the Amazon Polly API. Amazon Polly immediately returns the audio stream to your application so that your application can play it directly or store it in a standard audio file format, such as an MP3. In this post, we create a basic serverless application that uses Amazon Polly to convert text to speech. The application has a simple user interface that accepts text in many different languages and then converts it audio files which you can play from a web browser. We use this post, but you can use any type of text. For example, you can use the application to read recipes while you're preparing a meal, or news articles, or books while you're driving or riding a bike. The application provides two methods, one for sending information or an MP3. Let's click on the services. Then go to the IAM user first for creating the policies needed for permitting certain resources we need for this application. So let's get into IAM and create our user first. So in my case, I'm going to click the users in the dashboard. And you can see I already created a user, so we need to create roles for that user. So click on roles and click on create role. So we could either choose the AWS service which is already in the role, which is available there for default, or we could choose some basic services that are available. For in my case, I'm going to choose the basic Lambda operations functions that are needed for this application. So let's look at here now. So I'm going to select the Lambda policy for now. So click on next permission and select some administrator access, and for getting full access to all of the Amazon Essential Services. That's it, and click next tags, and that's it. We can click next to review, and we can give a role name for this particular role. I'm giving it as speech, and click create role. Here you can see all the roles that are created. In my case, speech is my role, which includes all the permissions for such functions to run. So that's it for in our IAM user. You can um, also give permissions from Amazon Poly, because the Amazon Poly is what we use in this particular application. So click on Amazon Poly full access. We need full access for this service. Click on attach policy, and it will attach our policy to our role now. Role is called the speech. And we could use these permissions for our Lambda functions to work. We'll see how to create Lambda function. These are serverless applications that are run on the server. So let's go to S3 bucket. S3 is a scalable storage cloud which is provided by the AWS. S3 bucket is for storing all the audio files created by the application. To do this, you need to go to the S3 console, where you'll find an option to create a new bucket. Bucket is just a storage space for storing the files such as PDF files, audio files, or even video files. You can give any name for the S3 bucket. Currently it's loading the buckets. I have 2 buckets already created. Let's create another one. Click on create bucket. And you could give any name for the bucket. In my case, I'm giving the name as audio post. And click on, we could uncheck this block or public access, because we need our bucket to be public. And click on I acknowledge. Click on create bucket for creating our bucket. Oops. Oh, our bucket already exists, so to change the name, adding 1, 2 and create bucket. Successfully created the bucket audio post now. We need to do some permissions for this bucket in order to access it, because we will want to make our audio files in S3 public. We will also need to configure our new S3 bucket and allow this kind of operation. In S3 console, check your new created bucket and click on edit public access settings. In this case, click on permissions, click on bucket policy. And we need to add some JSON code in it. Don't worry, the codes are all available in the description link down below. Copy this code for giving some certain permissions for the S3 bucket. Click paste. And click on save. The bucket has public access now, So it could publicly anyone can access this packet. Click on save. Click on overview. After this S3 bucket, we have to create an SNS topic that we will create down the course. The IAM role basically specifies which AWS services the functions can interact with. We'll create the role for all three functions. So next we want to do is upload some sample applications in order to run our API. Even though our API can be effective, but we need a user interface for interacting or using effectively this API. How to show the functionality of this API, we need a sample application. So we have to upload some using this add files and selecting our application files and upload. Click upload, and it will upload in certain seconds. And click back. Click on services and let's go to the DynamoDB for creating a table for storing our details. We store information about posters including text and URL for the MP3 file on DynamoDB. From the DynamoDB console, we create a single table which we call posters. Our primary key ID is a string which the new post Lambda function creates when new records are inserted into a database. So let's create a table. For that, we need to click on the tables first. The new post Lambda function creates when new records are inserted into a database. We won't define the whole structure of the table now, but let's see how it will look the same records. Click on tables. And click on create table. And you can give any name if you want for the table. In my case, I'm giving it as post. And our primary key would be ID. And click on create for creating our table. The table is being created like we want. So the columns provide the following information, such as the ID will specify the ID of the post. Status will be showing us the updated or processing depending on whether an MP3 file has already been created. Text, the post address for which an audio file is being created. And next, URL, a link to an S3 bucket where an audio file is being stored. And next, voice, the Amazon Poly voice that was used to create audio file. So next what we want to do is we gotta go to IAM for checking whether if everything is fine, working fine. So let's click on the users or the roles. Now I was thinking about um, creating Lambda functions to be effective after this. Lambda functions are just serverless functions which can be run using an API call. Let's click on to speech. You can see the permissions we have. You can also add additional permissions using add inline policy. Click on JSON. Copy the sample code into the JSON window. You don't have to worry about the codes, they are available in the link in the description. Click on review policy after pasting your code in the JSON window. So you can give any name for this particular policy. You can give speech on or anything like that. Or could either think of creating this permission later if the Lambda functions really requires this permission. So we will stop for now, but we are going to Lambda function for creating serverless functions for the API to be worked fine. We have split the logic of converting post into an audio file and into Lambda functions. So let's click into Lambda function, Lambda service. So the first function we have to create is the new post Lambda function. The first Lambda function that we create, you can see all the Lambda functions I have created. The first Lambda function that we create is the entry point of our application. Let's keep the function name as post reader new post. The first Lambda function create is the entry point of our application. It receives information about new posts that should be converted into audio files. The Lambda console, you'll see a button for creating a new Lambda function. Let's create. I'm choosing Python 2.7 for the runtime execution. Use the existing role. The role is which we already created in IAM. So click on use an existing role and select speech from the drop down, which is the role that we already created. And click on create function. So this is the window text editor where all the programs have to be entered. So I'm selecting all this code for posting the ID. You can find the code in the link in the description and pasting in the text editor. And let's save the code. As shown in the following code, this Lambda function does simple things. So it will return a record ID in the end. As you can see, let's go ahead and execute this. So let's test our program. So it retrieves two input parameters mainly. For voice, one of dozens of voice that are supported by Amazon for it. Then there's text the test of the post that we want to convert into an audio file, then creates a new record in the DynamoDB table with information about the post, publishes information about the new post to SNS, the ID of the DynamoDB item or post ID is published there as a message. And then fourth, will returns the ID of the DynamoDB item to the new user. So these are the functions that are the steps that are done by this particular function. In addition, the new post lambda function needs to know the name of the DynamoDB table and the SNS topic. To provide these values, we use the following environment variables. So let's click on to the environment variable, then click edit. Click on add environment variable and go to the key field and type in SNS underscore topic. And you can add the values the AR and then must be copied from the IAM role. So let's go to IAM service and then copy the ARN from the window. It's available on top. Click on roles. Select our role speech from the list. Copy the ARN that you see on the top role ARN. And paste it in the value field. And add one more environment. In this case, it has to be the name of the DynamoDB table. We give the key as db underscore table underscore name. And give the value as the name of the table field that we created, called the post, and click save. And select go to our Lambda function and click configure test events from the text event. Give an event name and name such as AAA. Click on create and click on test our function. So there's an error in our code or the permission that we selected. Let's check it one more time. Go to the details and it's a lambda handler error. Let's scroll down to it successfully returned the request ID, but the code is, let's go ahead and replace the code in the, sorry about that, replace the code and then try one more time. Let's test it one more time after saving it. Let's test it. So there is still the error is there. Let's find out what the problem is. Let's save it again. Let's delete this return. We don't need to return the you don't need two returns, just return the record ID. You can delete the import JSON. Save it again. You can remove this lambda handler. We don't need two lambda handlers. So I think it's the permissions that we given in the IAM. Let's go and take a look at the IAM. I think we need the SNS permissions. So let's get to the speech and let's find out the problem. Things looks good. There is a permission to be granted, so copy the permission JSON, the JSON code that will have all the permissions included. Let's copy it. These permissions are needed only for our particular project. For if a different project, the permissions may differ according to the services that are used by the particular project. Let's give this policy a name. Let's give it a speech role. Click on create policy. So we'll create the policy needed for our function to work. So let's go to our Lambda functions and test it again. So we need to configure the key events. So the new post Lambda function is have to be invoked with the following input data. So let's keep the input data as voice. Let's keep the voice name as Joanna. And we need another input data called text. And give it as this is working. This is just to ensure that our new post function is working correctly. Let's click on save. Let's test it again by clicking test. Oops. Looks like the error is still there. So let's look to the so in this we need I think the SNS topic is needed for this to work. As you probably noticed, we have split the logic of converting a post into an audio file and into two Lambda functions. We did this for a couple of reasons. First, it allows our application to use asynchronous calls so that the user who sends a new post to the application receives the ID of the new DynamoDB item. Let's create our topic in SNS topic. We give the name as new posters underscore post and give the display name as new post. We do this so it knows what to ask for later and to eliminate waiting for the conversation to finish. We need this ARN. Let's copy this ARN and have to paste it in the value field of the SNS topic in the environment variables. Click on to our function post read and new post. The second reason is that we use a Lambda function which allows a single execution to run as long as 5 minutes. This should be more than enough time to convert our post. In the future we might want to convert something bigger. Let's copy the ARN in the value field of the SNS topic. When we have two components, in our case two Lambda functions, we need to integrate them. In other words, the second one needs to know when to start. This is only the first Lambda function that we create. Let's test it. So the Lambda functions work correctly now as was the SNS topic. We have misplaced the ARN with the IAM, so it is working correctly now. The function is absolutely perfect now. You could do this in many different ways. In our case, we'll use the Amazon SNS and send the message about the new post from the first function to the second one. The next Lambda functions we want to create is the convert to audio Lambda function. In the first step of this, we specify the SNS topic that we created. So the main functionality of this Lambda get post convert to audio Lambda function is to first to retrieve the ID of the DynamoDB item. It should be converted into an audio file from the input message. Let's click on to create function. And give our function a name such as post reader get post or convert to audio. Select the runtime language as Python 2.7 as before. Let's give the permission that we already created called the speech. So let's click on to use an existing role in the permissions and select the so Python 2.7 pretty much standard. It will update the runtime constantly. So in my case we could use the Python 2.7 for the runtime. So the first one will integrate with the second Lambda function. So click on use an existing role and click on speech as our execution role and click on create function. And let's copy the code that were needed for the get post. Click on the Lambda function that we created and paste our. Let's select the whole code and replace it. Let's save the code. The following code is mostly self-explanatory, but let's dive into the part that invokes Amazon Polly, which is called the synthesize speech. It is a synthesize speech function method receives the text that should be converted and the voice that should be used. In return, it provides the audio stream. The catch is that there is a size limit of 1500 characters on the text that can be provided as input. Because our posts can be big, we need to divide them into blocks of about 1000 characters, depending where the final word in the block ends. After converting the blocks into an audio stream, we join them together again. As with the new post function, we need to tell this Lambda function which services it can interact with. To provide these values, we use the following environment variables and values that are we going to enter. So let's, like before, we have to go to the environment variables and click on edit and click on add environment variable, and let's keep the key as before, db underscore table underscore name. And let's keep the value as this is the name of the dynamic table. In our case it's posters. Let's keep the value as posters. Add environment variable. In here we have to specify the bucket name, the name of the S3 bucket that we created to store MP3 files. In my case, the bucket name, let's make sure the name of the bucket in case to eliminate some possible spelling mistakes. So the spellings have to be correct in order for the function to identify the bucket correctly. So in my case, the bucket name is audio poster. Let's give the value as audio post post 12. So it is saved. So let's go to the functions down below and extend the we will create this function. As before, we will use this time the code is um, so the functionality of this lambda function is to scan the table for the possible IDs. So then this ID have to be returned with the items in it, such as the audio file that is created, the name of the voice, test, etc. So let's copy the get post code. These codes are available in the link in the description. Let's go to the description and click to the link and then download the codes from it. I'm just pasting and saving it. This time the code is very short. This function expects to get the post ID, the DynamoDB item ID. As before, we need to give the environment variables. Let's give add environment variables. And give the key as db underscore table name and give the name of the value as posters and click on save. On the basis of this ID, it retrieves all information including the S3 link to the audio file if it exists and then returns. Let's test our lambda function. Give us even name as something as AAA and give the voice, give the input data as post ID and give any ID you want, such as or you could just give the stars symbol to get all the data from it and click on test. And it will execution is succeeded and you get all the details in the DynamoDB including the S3 link. To make it a little more user-friendly, if the input parameter is asterisk, our lambda functions returns all items from the database, which is I given in the input data for configuring test events. For a database with a lot of items, avoid this approach because it can degrade performance and might take a long time. Click on to the services. So next we want to do is expose the Lambda function as a RESTful web service. We need API gateway for doing that. Click on the API gateway service. This is the last thing we need to do. This is to be done so it can be invoked easily using a standard HTTP protocol. Click on the build in the REST API. Let's keep the by clicking the create API, let's keep the API name as something as post reader API. Let's keep the description something as API for post reader application. And click on create API. After our API is created, we create two HTTP methods from actions buttons, then create method. The post method invokes the post read underscore new post lambda function. Let's create the post method first. Click on the post and click on the check icon, and our API is created. For the get method, our API invokes the post reader underscore get post lambda function. So let's click on to the post and go to the lambda function field and type in the post reader underscore new post. It's in the list. Let's select it and click on save. So click OK for add permissions to lambda function. So let's create another method. Now it's a get method. So let's select get from the drop down, click on check and click on the get API and the lambda function. Let's give it as post reader underscore get post. Let's select the post reader underscore get post function, click on save, click OK. The last method is the CORS, cross-origin resource sharing. This method enables invoking the API from a website with a different hostname. So let's click on to actions, create method, and options. I think it's the wrong way to do it. So we don't need the options field here. I think I have to delete the options. So let's actions just delete this method. Delete. So the options is deleted. Let's create enable CORS for the get method, so that way the get method can now configure the. By enabling CORS, we are giving cross-origin resource sharing for a website with a different host name to access it. Enable CORS replaces existing CORS headers. Click on that and click on S replace existing files, and we'll enable CORS within a few seconds. click on to the get. Now configure the get method for a query parameter. So let's click on to the get method and click on to method request and scroll down to and click on to URL query string parameters. So by giving a query parameter as post ID, so let's click on add query string. Give the query parameter as post ID. The new URL query string parameter is the post ID. Let's click on the check. And let's go back to method execution and click on integration request. The Lambda function post reader underscore get post expects to receive the input data in JSON format. So we need to configure our API to map our parameter into this format. Let's click into the mapping templates and click on add mapping template. And in the content type, let's type in application/JSON. Click on the check. So click on yes, no, use current settings in order to avoid high security for this. So let's step in the follow mapping template as follows. Give the post ID as our input parameter and give $input dot params brackets and give post ID as the parameter. And let's close it and let's save it. Now our API is ready. After deploying it in the pop-up window, you can call this stage div. We get a URL which we can use to interact with our application. So we already created our serverless user interface. Although our application is fully operational, it is exposed as a RESTful web server. Therefore, we need to make sure that everything is working as it should. Let's deploy the API into a new stage. Give the stage a name such as speech. So the web page is already uploaded in S3. We are already mapped everything to our website. S3 is a great choice for hosting static web pages. This web page uses JavaScript to connect to our API and provide all our text-to-speech functionality in a www page. So the API is created here. You can see the API here. This is the API for running our website. So click on to the S3. Click on to audio postal. You can see the S3 is looking good. So the next thing we want to do is go to properties and click on static website hosting. and click on use the hosted website. Check and give the index document as index.html, which is the home page, and click on save. And click on the endpoint to see our website. So our website is currently loaded, and you can see the APIs are already indicated. You can select the voice. As a quick note, what I'm saying is, which is not currently present in the video, you have to modify the scripts.js file by providing the URL of the API. This is very important. You need to modify the script.js file by providing the URL of the API that we created using Amazon API Gateway in the first line. After making this small modification, we can deploy our website on S3. Very important that you enter the API in the script.js file. We get the post ID. Let's copy the post ID and give it in the. So copy the post ID and save in the field down below and search for this particular audio file. So you must give the API in script.js file, otherwise it won't work. In this video I never shown adding the API for security reasons. So you need to copy the API and add it in your script.js file. Let's click on search, and I got the file.
Hey, happy coding. Hey, happy coding. Hey, happy coding. Hey, happy coding.
Select another voice and try again. Console. Let's type in something else, such as Amazon Poly is a service that turns text into lifelike speech. And this is a tutorial by Aleta Software Labs. Let's try that one. Let's try on Spanish accent. Click on save and select the post ID. Paste it in the field down below. Click on search.
Hey, happy coding. Hey, happy coding.
Amazon Poly is a service that turns text to life like speech. And this is a tutorial by Aleta Software Labs. Amazon Poly is a service.
Let's try another accent, the regular German and English accent, and search again. Give it the post ID, paste it, and search again. Get the audio file. Let's play it.
Amazon Poly is a service that turns text to lifelike speech. And this is a tutorial by Aleta Software Labs.
So that's it for now, guys. If you have any queries, please let me know in the comment section, and please do not forget to add the API in the script.js. Happy coding. Stay home. Bye.